Well, just when you thought Nazism could not get any worse, along comes Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to tell you that it can. Here he is on the weekend apologising for having a few days earlier joined in with the entire Canadian House of Commons in applauding a Ukrainian World War II veteran who embarrassingly was later revealed to be a member of the Nazi Waffen-SS.
In a few moments, I will address the House in front of all Canadians, in front of Jewish people here and around the world, and Ukrainians, to offer Parliament's unreserved apologies for what happened on Friday. All of us who were in this House on Friday regret deeply having stood and clapped, even though we did so unaware of the context. It was a horrendous violation of the memory of the millions of people who died in the Holocaust, and it was deeply, deeply painful for Jewish people. It also hurt Polish people, Roma people, 2S LGBTQI+ people, disabled people, racialized people, and the many millions who were targeted by the Nazi genocide.
Yeah, that's right. Not only did the Nazis try to exterminate Jews and Gypsies, but also Two-Spirit people. For those of you who don't follow the inanities of social media and the banality of university humanities courses, the 2S in 2SLGBTQI refers to people who believe they have two spirits. And I don't mean people who are as partial to whiskey as they are to vodka. I mean people who don't know if they're Arthur or Martha. The persecution of these people these days is bad enough, but it was worse in Germany in the 1940s when Nazi brown shirts were going door to door looking for Jews and men wearing dresses. No wonder Trudeau wants the persecution of these people to finally stop. But you have to wonder about how emphatic Trudeau was about this apology and why. I mean, it's not as if his wokeness was ever in doubt. Here he is in 2016, less than a year after becoming Prime Minister, marching for gay rights in Canada. Here he is the next year, 2017, tearfully apologising for all the bad things previous Canadian governments had done to gay people. Here he is the next year in 2018, wokishly donning clothes he picked up at a Bollywood garage sale during a visit to India to prove that he's not some colonial white oppressor on a mission to revive the glory days of the Raj. And just to prove he's also hip to the oppression of women, here he is with his son attending the Barbie movie just a couple of months ago. His woke credentials are well beyond doubt. So why the over-the-top correction for the Nazi faux pas, Justin? You could wonder the same thing about the recently departed Victorian Premier, Dan Andrews. In November last year, a week before the Victorian election, he tweeted, "I want to be very clear here. Nazis, racists and bigots have no place in politics. They have no place in our parliament and they have no place in our state." And in March, after a bunch of Nazis crashed a Let Women Speak rally on the steps of Parliament House, he tweeted, "I wish it didn't have to be said, but it clearly does. Nazis aren't welcome. Not on Parliament steps, not anywhere." Yeah, we get it, Dan. If it weren't for you, the rest of us would be attending the Australian equivalent of the Nuremberg rallies and calling for the government to round up our political opponents, censor their voices and imprison them when they... Hang on a sec. Isn't that what Dan Andrews did for the better part of 2 years under the cover of a fake pandemic? Didn't Trudeau imprison protesting truckers and cancel their bank accounts? Didn't both of them declare states of emergency in order to circumvent democratic processes and impose dictatorial rule? Aren't both of them afraid to appear in public without being surrounded by armed security? In other words, who are the real Nazis here? Ordinary working people like us, or power-mad tyrants like Andrews and Trudeau? This is not an idle question. The way things are going, pretty soon we won't even be able to ask questions like that without being hauled before some kind of tribunal for committing wrong speak. We've already seen it happen during COVID. Don't think they are not planning to do it again. But as a rule of thumb, from now on, the more someone publicly opposes Nazism, the more likely they are to be one.